This is Val Campbell, and I want to talk to you about one of my favorite subjects. Now, about this time, you're thinking, how many favorite subjects does this guy have? For Lord's sake, it's true. I just tend to be enthusiastic, and it's just a burden we'll all have to bear. But it wasn't always that way. There was a time when I was sincerely down in the dumps, right? and I really had to work on improving my happiness. So we're going to talk about being happy. And, I knew somebody once. I'll never forget her. She was quite interesting. But her favorite saying was, life sucks and then you die. Have a nice day. And it's like, wow, that's really something that you want to get up to in the morning. But that's just how she felt about things. And she was always moaning and groaning. And I see a lot of this on social media. And I'm not meaning to pick on anybody. But Facebook sometimes becomes just this place to vent all of the misery in your life. And it's just a horrible mess. And I'm upset. And this is bad. Look, everybody's got a bad day. And I don't think anybody minds if you post and say, man, I did a couple of weeks ago. I said, man, I'll sure be happy to get rid of this virus that came to visit me. This is a nasty beast. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a constant vitriol, a constant anger about life. And I'm having this discussion with you in the content, the what's the word I want to use? In the subject of building a business that's based on attraction. You're trying to attract people to you. Now, here's truth of life number one. Okay? You are going to attract to you what you are, not what you want. So, on one hand, people want to not struggle with these problems and these issues that are plaguing them. On the other hand, they're going into the public forum and they're passing huge amounts of negative. Who are they attracting to themselves? People who are negative, people who are going to treat them bad, people who are just like them. Okay? I'm not saying they're bad. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just saying this is not going to improve their situation in life. I think we need to be a little bit more deliberate about this. And this is something I had to learn a long time ago. It took me a long time. It was not easy. And I tell some stories sometimes about different points in time and different things that happened. But in this particular situation, I want to give you two very concrete applications that are going to help. Okay? First off, you got to get yourself a first aid kit. And I'm not talking about the one with the Band-Aids in it. You got to have an audio or a CD, something you can listen to in the background, something you can turn on in the bathroom in the morning when you're getting ready. These days it's not a CD, it's a MP3 or whatever. The generation just gapped, right? You know what I'm talking about. It's going to be on your phone. I'm going to start by suggesting, if you're on my team, that you get a hold of Jim Rohn's, R-O-H-N. Get a hold of his audio called How to Build Your Network Marketing Business. I don't care if you're building a business or not. This audio is full of the best stuff I've ever heard. It's fantastic. It's going to just give you a more positive attitude, give you a little bit more lift going into your day. And play that. Play it in the car when you're driving. Excuse me. Play it in the morning in the bathroom. Play it while you're doing something in the kitchen. Have it going in the background. If your kids are listening to it, even better, right? The whole family needs to hear this. Now, there's other things out there. I'm just telling you one that has worked for me and for thousands of other people. That I've listened to that audio 1,000 times. I'm serious. 1,000 times. Because I play it all the time. There's always some little nugget. I can recite phrases from it. And as a business builder, I hear those phrases come out of my mouth all the time, and I just kind of, in the back of my head, I'm kind of smiling. There's Jim talking to me. But now it's coming out of my mouth. Now what am I doing? I'm speaking what I want, and it goes around and it goes in my ear, and I'm programming my subconscious mind. The mouth is a powerful creative force for you. You need to speak what you want, not what you are. This is really, really good stuff, folks. I didn't invent it. I'm just passing it to you from Jim and Dave and Ron and Bill, the guys that were my mentors that had created incredible lifestyles, not just money, but just the way they lived. It was just amazing. They did it by the power of their mouth. And that's the same thing as what you put on social media. That becomes your mouth. The other thing I'm going to recommend to you is to go on Amazon.com, get a little book called Being Happy. You'll see it in there. It's got the picture of this little goofy guy jumping around on it. It's called Being Happy. I wish I had written down the name of that author, but anyway, you'll find it. I bought a bunch of those years ago, and I just handed out to people when I ran into somebody and they were really having a tough time in life. I'd give them that. So that book is very small. It's very easy to read. But it's going to talk about how people create patterns in their life that promote the bad things that are happening to them. And that if we want to change that, we need to change what we're saying, how we're acting. And sometimes, now this is the hard part here, folks, sometimes you got to change who you're hanging out with. This becomes a problem because now all your friends around you are negative Nellies. And they're all sharing with you the misery of their life, and that's what's going in your head. And I had a point in my life where I needed to separate from that. I just needed to move away from it. Sometimes it's family members, sometimes it's a friend. I know you love them, but you're not going to break out of the misery of your life if you keep laying in it. It's just the way life is. Mama probably told you that. Don't hang out with those kids. You're going to end up just like them. Well, let's take that same principle, the law of association, and let's say, gee, who do we want to be like? I think we need to hang out more like them. Now, when you put that Jim Rohn audio in there, you're hanging out with Jim. When you're listening to me or some other mentors, you're hanging out with us. When you read a book by somebody who's got a positive message, you're hanging out with them. Get the point what I'm saying? We need to reprogram our biological goal-seeking computers. That's that 8 inches between your head. Some of us are fatter than others. Some of you got 6 inches. I got about 14, I think. Okay? Too much fat. Anyway, you get my point? This message is delivered with love. I hope you know what I'm saying. I'm not being critical. I'm hearing your pain. And I'm just trying to use this message to help you understand how you can get out of that hole. Somebody made the comment to me the other day, says, man, I'm just in such a hole. I said, well, let's see if we can't help you. I'm going to throw a ladder down to you. You're going to need to climb out because I can't climb down in there with you and carry you out. You're going to have to climb out. But rule number 1 is if you're in a hole, quit digging, right? You need to get out. You need to start filling it in. Somehow you need to get out of that hole. But if you keep digging, you're only going to get deeper. Okay? I love you. Please accept this with a caring heart. And this is Val Campbell. I'll see you next time.